welcome aboard Patriots Nation. This is the MayeFlower Voyage presented by Patriots Clubhouse, where we chart the course each week for New England football. Week 8 brings the Cleveland Browns to Foxborough. New England sits at 5-2, the Browns at 2-5, and today we'll decode matchups, injuries, X factors, and give you our scoreboard scenarios and final predictions. I'm joined here today by my two friends, Thomas and Dow. How are we doing today, fellas?
Doing good, Austin. If you may not know, Austin will be our first. He's gonna be the host for the first time here, just to have him play out StreamYard, and I'm gonna sit out for the day. And this is just basically like a test run to see if anyone else could be the host here on this channel, because usually I do all of the dirty work here on this channel, but for today, Austin will be the host. And thank you so much for being the host for this week. And he will be the host in times where I'm gonna be busy, for example, like week 18, for example. But yeah, it should be a fun live stream, nevertheless.
Awesome. And how about you, Thomas?
You're muted, man.
Or his internet's going a little slow.
I think his internet is slow, but
okay. Well, I'd just like to take a moment to say, make sure before we get started, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and drop some score predictions in the chat. If you have some questions, make sure you're putting a Q in front of your questions. If you have a statement, an S in front of those, and we'll try to get right into it. And before we truly get started, I just want to say, make sure you guys join our Discord. The link is in the description below, or QR code in the top right of our screen. Just made that QR code. It will bring you right to our Discord channel. I'm going to share real quick the Discord on the screen.
You should see a QR code.
You guys have an idea. Go ahead, Dad.
You should see a QR code on the right side of your screen. That QR code will lead you to our Discord server. And once you're joined our Discord server, if you can give us a demonstration, Austin.
For sure, yeah.
Go ahead.
So when you join our Discord, it's Patriots Clubhouse Discord, just made it. You'll be greeted in the entry tunnel. And all you'll have to do to be entered to win the giveaway is introduce yourself. So we have a couple different people who have introduced yourself. And you're just going to say, how long you've been a fan, your favorite memory, and, what team you're a fan of. You don't necessarily need to be a Patriots fan. All we care about is that you're a fan of football. And you'll be entered to win one of 4 cards that will be given away at the end of the show. Those 4 cards being a Demario Douglas autograph, a Will Campbell autograph, a Drake May PSA 8 Panini Prism, and a Drake May rookie 8.5 SGC. So you'll definitely don't want to miss out on those.
And by the end of the show, we will do the giveaway. And how it works is that we add your name. If you join the Discord server, if you introduce yourself and at least subscribe and click the like on this video, on this live stream, even if you're watching the recap, you will be added to the wheel. And then, we will add you to the spinning wheel. And then from there, we will spin it. And then we will find out who the winner for this giveaway is. All you have to do is put down your email. If you're the winner, you just have to put down your email so that Austin would be able to receive your address, email, and then ship it to you.
Yeah, of course. I just want to be able to reach out. Obviously, I need your address and whatnot, and then I'll be able to pack it up for you guys and get them sent out. But definitely some exciting cards to win there. So let's see. The Patriots open as -7, so they're definitely favored in this game. I believe the total right now is kind of low at around 40.5. Kind of signaling a defense forward game state. The Patriots are largely healthy, with only Kyle Duggar questionable on Friday's injury report. Cleveland arrives after a big performance that has not yet moved the market off New England. So it's why is everybody leaning towards the Patriots being favored in this game, Dow?
in my opinion, the Patriots have like improved a lot offensively and defensively. When it comes to like the Cleveland Browns, we all know how great their defense is, but the reason why they have been sucky, I would say they're not good like in the division. Like AFC North is really competitive, but when you talk about the Browns, their offense regressed a lot. There's not a lot of like good quarterback play. They just like a couple weeks ago they switched from Joe Flacco to Dylan Gabriel, who is the third rounder out of Oregon. So basically, the offense, it's not what you. It's like the worst offense you ever experienced in the league. But the only reason they're still carrying the only thing that is carrying the Browns at this point is the defense, led by none other than the former first rounder back in 2017, Myles Garrett.
Yeah, for sure. I think this Cleveland Browns defense is, something to definitely worry a lot of the Patriots fans. It's kind of what has really kept them in games. For you, Thomas, what do you think is the most repeatable strength for New England right now that they've continued to show throughout the season?
Drake May's deep ball play, for sure. Most likely, the offensive line has been doing so much to protect Drake May, which I keep complaining about last season or more. And most importantly, it's the rush defenses we improve at this point. But yeah, somehow our rush defense is doing good, but our pass defense is completely on crap. It's completely crap, honestly. But
for some reason, Thomas, your internet has been acting.
That's the thing I say. Patriots team.
I think we lost Thomas there, but yeah, I think the biggest problem with this team right now is the pass coverage, especially when we let up plays, especially within the first quarter. We have to clean those up. I granted that the Patriots have already started slow, but yeah, the Patriots need to do a better job, especially when we're going up against the worst offense in the league.
Yeah, for sure. Another question I kind of posed to you is, the Cleveland Browns have been able to survive because of their defense, but where do you think they've been most volatile? Like, what is their biggest, if they can't get this together, they're never going to win games?
I say that as in the Patriots or the Browns?
The Browns. Where do you think they're most volatile? And, it doesn't matter how good the defense has been playing. It's this one thing just is going to hold them back.
It's going to be the offense. Their leading wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns is Jerry Jeudy. And the only way that the offense is going to score points is going to be the run game, which has been great when you have a rookie in Quinshon Judkins. But with the wide receiver crew that they have for the Cleveland Browns, it's not good. You only have Jerry Jeudy, and that's it. There's nothing impressive. And they do have a good tight end in David Njoku, but other than that, I don't see anything impressive about the Cleveland Browns, especially how bad the offensive line is. If I were to look up the roster and look up the grades for the roster, it's vulgar, I would say. Your tackles are Conklin. They just signed Cam Robinson, and they have Cornelius Lucas and Leviston, who I don't know who these are. And then you still have Tevin Jenkins and Joel Bitonio, which we will get to on the offensive line, and then their center in Pocic.
Yeah, I am a big fan of Harold Fannin too. With Njoku going down a couple times this season, he's really stepped up. I think he almost leads the teams in targets as the backup tight end, which is kind of wild to think about. But yeah, I mean the Browns' offense is kind of abysmal right now. But, let's kind of take a look at, Drake May. Drake May obviously isn't a rookie. He's year 2, trending up against, how he handles man coverage. Cleveland under Kevin Stefanski, usually pairs a strong 4-man rush with man coverage and match principles on the back end. My question to you, Dow, is whether Cleveland can heat the pocket without blitzing and still deny the verticals that Drake May and this offense have seemed to really get going over the past couple weeks.
Yeah, Drake May has been doing a great job when it comes to the deep balls and be able to like read defenses. But especially, I think this is going to be the biggest test for. I always say it's a test because every week you don't know like who the opponents are and like how good they can be. But with this Cleveland Browns defense, if Josh McDaniels could be able to like cook up some plays, it's completely different compared to the last time we played against the Browns when we played them at home, because they now have a different defensive coordinator in Schwartz, who was the head coach for the Detroit Lions. And you never know. And Schwartz defenses, ever since he was the defensive coordinator for the Browns, have been really good. So this is going to be a biggest test for it to see how well the offensive line can like block this great defensive line led by Myles Garrett, and also their 5th overall pick in Mason Graham, who'd coming out of Michigan. So this is going to be an ultimate test to see how well this offensive line can pass block Drake May and how they will be able to like utilize the run game. And the one thing I'm a little concerned about is if Drake May goes down like he did at one point last week, that could basically derail our season, and it will not look good.
Yeah, I do really think Drake May is kind of the wild card in all this that is going to put the glue together for our offense. And like you said, if he was the one to go down, I'm not really confident that Josh Dobbs. I do think Josh Dobbs in limited scenarios could come in and fill in and be serviceable. But if Josh Dobbs was forced to come in against this top defense in the league, I don't think it would end well for the Patriots. My question to you, Thomas, if you are Vrabel and McDaniels, what are your first, maybe 15 plays, or like what is kind of your play design to kind of calm the rush attack that they're going to put at you and kind of punish the man coverage that they're looking at?
I don't know.
What about you, Dow?
I know that they use a lot. This is kind of difficult because I know that they do a lot of like deep balls, but typical when it comes to like the Josh McDaniels offense, you see a lot of like shorts, like a lot of screen passes. But these cornerbacks for the Browns defense, they're really sticking. They're not going to play around, especially when we somewhat don't have like a wide receiver one on this team. So basically, I don't know exactly what they're going to be cooking up on the offense particularly, but anything to make sure that you keep these cornerbacks off guard, because they still have Denzel Ward. They just traded away Greg Newsome to the Jaguars in exchange for Tyson Campbell. So this is going to be one of the craziest defenses you will ever go up against. Not just up in the front, but also in the secondary. So this is going to be a huge test for both on all positions for the offense.
Yeah, I know that was a bit of a loaded question, kind of being like, what do you think their offensive game plan going to be or what they're going to open with? But I think for me, it'd probably be a couple of quick motions and trying to get like the play action game going, like keeping those corners honest, because like you said, those corners are some of the best man corners in the entire league right there. And it's just like, we have to be able to scheme up something that is going to throw them off of their game. And, obviously keep Drake May protected is the number one. Going into this game, it's kind of like we've seen Booty really pop off over the past couple weeks, kind of almost cement himself as the Patriots' number one receiver, although we are kind of a running back by committee, wide receiver by committee type of roster, the way it's built right now. Do you think, Thomas, any particular one of our receivers is going to see an uptake against this Browns defense and their man coverage?
What do you mean exactly? Who's the receiver that could go against this defense?
Yeah, like what receiver on our roster do you personally think could see an uptake in targets or yards or whatever that in previous weeks they kind of fell down the depth chart? Like, who's going to be the one that takes advantage of the way this defense plays?
It's either Booty or, to my opinion, my wide receiver one, Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. Okay. So, in my opinion, Cleveland's front is built to win first downs. You have Mason Graham, you have Malik Collins, Myles Garrett, Isaiah McGuire. Like, you have a very, very, very serviceable front, one of the top fronts in the game, comparable to our front against the run. I believe they're like top 4 in run defense, and they're up there in the pass defense. So it's really going to put a test on New England's rushing game, I feel. I don't know how we're going to find a perfect balance, because I feel like this could really turn into a game where Drake May is just going to be forced to have to throw the ball and win us this game. And I think we need to really try to get the run game going. But for you, Dow, where do you think a successful type of run game comes into our matchup with the Browns? Like, do you want us to shoot for getting 100 yards rushing, or is the yards not so much important? It's just about getting our guys going, like maybe seeing more touches from Trevion, maybe more touches from Jennings?
I would say I would not like constantly go the same play every single time where you have to go like run up through the middle. So like I would have to like go all the way back. But the one thing that could get the run game going is that Stevenson must not be all over in his head about focusing on ball security to the point that he's getting stuffed every moment, because you're going up against this Browns defensive line, and they have like one of the best. And as you alluded to, Austin, they're like top 4 when it comes to run defense. So all Ramondre has to do, and if Trayvon Henderson get at least a little more carries, is to not just focus on ball security, but also find like these open gaps to make space and room for you to release. Because the problem in the past before week 7 against the Titans is finding holes, and also being in over your head with like securing the ball and then not paying attention to like some of these certain holes, because that's going to be the huge problem. And with Drake May, if he's going to run the ball, someone alluded to that he needs to, and I think Drake May needs to do like a better job of like sliding, so that he doesn't have to get another concussion. Because that was the biggest worry after the last game. But going back to Ramondre Stevenson, I think that Mike Vrabel made a really good comment about it in the press conference. He really criticized him for how he scored the touchdown by putting the ball in harm's way. So moving forward, I think that Stevenson should like not just focus on ball security, as Thomas loves to use these two words, but also like focus on like finding gaps and then be explosive.
Yeah, 100%. I think I do agree with you. I don't like how stale our run game seems to be, where it's like HB dive, HB dive, HB dive. Like, we need to do some stretches. We need to hit some other holes. We need to get more backs involved. And I think it'll come with time. I mean, I don't like the expectations of Henderson, where like everybody expected this guy to just like come in here and be our number 1 back, like down in, down out. So it'll definitely be interesting to see how this run game shapes up moving forward, because we're not going to go pretty far in the playoffs if it doesn't shape up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Also, I hope that May doesn't get. Well, to answer Gerard's question, if you think that Myles Garrett is going to get a sack against May, 100%. If Will Campbell has like one of his worst games, because he has been going up against top tier edge rushers like TJ Watt and Joey Bosa, this is going to be an ultimate test to see how well he does against, if not one of the best defensive players ever, and especially where he was the former defensive player of the year back in 2023. So, and another question that I think we need to talk about, Austin, I know you're the is
No, feel free.
Oh, so Gerard comes in with another question. The one thing that I think that the Patriots needs to keep an eye on is if they can commit few penalties, because this is what he said. The Browns have commit less penalties, 48 compared to Patriots 59. Do you think that they can stay disciplined while remaining physical and aggressive?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Patriots are. I don't think the penalties they have are reflective of who they are as a team. I think, yeah, sure, we've gotten some penalties that we really hurt ourselves on, but I think we've also gotten some penalties where it's like there should have never even been a flag thrown. Like the officiating has kind of been all over the place this season for every team. So I think Vrabel's going to do a great job of having our team more disciplined than the other week in and week out. And I definitely think they're going to be physical against these Browns. I mean, yeah, of course they're going to let up a sack to Myles Garrett. I mean, we're talking the best defensive end in the entire game. It's bound to happen. They love to line Myles Garrett up on either side of the ball, inside. It does not matter. That guy's going to eat, and it's just about not letting him feast. But they built this Patriots defense to be physical, to be violent. And I think we've seen that through the first 7 weeks of this season that they can do that and they can get to the quarterback. And yeah, there's been stagnant times in like the first half of games where you really want to see them turn it on a lot sooner than having to wait till the second half. And that kind of goes for offense and defense. You kind of see a trend where we start off really slow and then we're able to pick it up. But against some of these like better teams that we may end up going against in the near future, or if we have playoff aspirations, it's really like you're not going to be able to afford having those slow starts and still think, oh, it's okay, we're going to turn it on late and come back.
Yeah, for sure.
So ownership for the Browns have stated, 3 games isn't enough to determine if Dylan Gabriel kind of has like the it factor. Obviously, there's like the quarterback competition with Shedeur and Gabriel, but they seem pretty head on Gabriel. He's obviously getting his 4th start against the Patriots this week. Do you think with Gabriel's skill set, he's going to have the arm talent and like the strength to hit these tight window throws that the Patriots are essentially going to force him to do? Because in my opinion, the Patriots are going to do whatever they can to make Gabriel have to win this game. And I'm curious if you think Gabriel in his current state, 4th game into the season, is going to have the talent to fit those throws, or are we just going to fully bully him and take advantage, and it's going to be like a Sam Darnold rookie season type of thing where he's seeing ghosts?
One thing I need to see is the Patriots not letting up plays and making Dylan Gabriel like what Spencer Rattler and what Cam Ward were in the past 2 games. So that's number 1. Number 2, you got to apply a lot of pressure on this offensive line to be able for Dylan Gabriel to be finding like a perfect room to like throw the ball, because we have to force him out of the pocket. That's the one thing that we have to do against rookies, because the thing with going up against rookies, if we don't do a good job in pass coverage, especially in the beginning of the first quarter, and if we were like to defer, and if we're to defer to the opposing offense, we have to do a good job of like having all the corners and all the safeties locking on these weapons to prevent Dylan Gabriel to like find any like open spots, because he is a rookie for one, and going back to this quarterback room for the Browns, I did not like how they did the draft process when you draft 2 quarterbacks. And mind you, before the Browns had Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders and Joe Flacco, who is now traded to the Cincinnati Bengals, they had like 5 to 6 different quarterbacks in one room. And yes, that includes Snoop Huntley, Kenny Pickett, and Deshaun Watson, who tears the same ACL like him. But going back to Dylan Gabriel, we have to make sure that we have to make him feel like Sam Darnold, where he can't see, where he's like seeing ghosts and whatnot, or basically be like what Tua was last week when Tua went up against the Browns, where he's like a turnover machine, basically.
Yeah, we really do need to turn Gabriel into Tua, which I think we have the facilities to do that with the players. My question to you, Thomas, would be, do you think we try to like crowd the line of scrimmage to stop Quinshon Judkins, who really, obviously, he didn't play for the start of the season, and then since playing with the Browns these past couple of games has popped off for multiple 100-yard games, multiple touchdown games. Do you think the game plan is stack the box, force Gabriel to throw outside, and have to beat us that way?
Yes, and also stop Judkins and hold him at least about 50 yards, at least what we did a couple weeks ago against the rest of the opponents we played.
For sure.
In my opinion, not only stop Quinshon Judkins, because we also have to stop all their running backs, because if we are able to stop Quinshon Judkins, we also have to stop the other running back, Jerome Ford. Because if Jerome Ford pops off instead of Quinshon Judkins, then there's gonna be problems with like how we can't like stop a running back 2 and a running back 1. Because I'm telling you, this matchup, the next matchup, and the matchup after, we have to make sure that we stop all of the running backs. Because when you think about this, you're going up against Quinshon Judkins this week. Next week, you're going up against Bijan Robinson. And then the week after, if Bucky Irvin is back, you got to stop him. So the Patriots' run defense has to continue to apply a whole lot of pressure on this offensive line and prevent all running backs to get at least 50 yards, which we have been doing for the past 7 games.
Yeah, definitely. We have some very, very hard tests coming up running back wise that is going to really try our defensive front there. And I mean, we've held every back we've played under 50. So, it's trending in the direction that hopefully we can stick with that, but you never know. In the NFL, any given Sunday, anything can happen. You personally, Dow, like, which matchup favors New England the most? Do you think the matchup between like our corners versus their wide receivers, or do you like the matchup of, our linebackers against their like run game, I guess?
In my opinion, I would say, well, one being our corners going up against their wide receivers, but another one being our defensive line going up against the Browns' offensive line. Because granted that when we saw the injury report, you have almost everybody in that defensive line being healthy. So that means you're able to apply a whole lot of pressure on that Browns offensive line, who has been looking terrible every single week. And it doesn't help when you lose like your offensive line coaches in the past, and it's actually going to hurt, and it's going to hurt them in the long run. So in my opinion, I should see like a couple of like breakout games where I see like Barmer at least getting his first sack of the season, because we've seen Chason, Landry, and Williams getting a sack, but we haven't seen Barmore getting a sack. So I'm hoping that either Barmore or maybe Tonga, who has been our nose tackle in like certain defensive schemes, applying a lot of pressure but not getting a sack onto Dylan Gabriel. So I think that our Patriots defensive line could favor over the Browns offensive line. And I hope that we can still remain disciplined but also remain aggressive.
For sure. Do you feel the same way, Thomas? Do you think like the defensive line versus the offensive line of the Browns is going to be the key, like marquee matchup to winning the game? Or do you think, our corners have the clear advantage? Yeah, the line. Okay.
I think the defensive line against the Browns offensive line is the key matchup, especially what Dallas talk about, Tonga, the nose tackle we got on free agency. Nobody's been talking about him since we picked him up on free agency. He's probably one of, in my opinion, the most underrated nose tackles in this league. Like, sure, he has not produced much stat in his career, but he literally just tribute to the teams he played. Like, for example, he played for Arizona. He made a lot of freaking some pressures against like some of the better teams in the NFC West, including the Rams, including the Niners, and including the freaking Seahawks. And now you're coming to to New England Patriots. You made great pressures against some of the better quarterbacks you faced in your career, and now you're going to go against Dylan Gabriel, the rookie. Most likely, he's going to get a sack. Barbaugh's going to get a sack. Most of the defensive line's going to get a sack. I just don't see the Browns' offensive line as this how terrible it is. There's no way they're going to hold us down here.
Definitely. I think it's interesting because years past, you would look at a Browns team and you'd be like, wow, their offensive line is really good. Like, you used to have Zach Thomas and, some of those other just really good. Like, Joe Bitonio used to be amazing, too. It just feels like that Browns line has become a shell of itself, which is rather disappointing. Before we move on to the next section, I do just want to say, make sure we're keeping all our comments, football related, respectable. Make sure we're liking, subscribing, share the video to all your friends, family, whatever we can do to get more exposure is greatly appreciated. And again, scan the QR code on the top right, click the link in the description, join our Discord, post in that introduce yourself section, and you will get entered to win one of the 4 football cards at the end of today's show. We'll be spinning a wheel with all your guys' names on it, and that's how you're going to win. So the next thing we are going to talk about is the injury report. Just going to pull this up right now. So the Cleveland Browns looks like they got a lot. We got a lot too. Joel Bitonio, Tyson Campbell, Malik Collins, Jack Conklin, Mason Graham, like a lot of limited participants did not participate. Some questionables on there. Out of this Browns injury report, who do you think is most impactful if they were to miss the game? It's going to hurt the Browns the most.
So if I were to look at Friday, I know that everybody's going to be. So the one player I'm looking at is going to be David. In my opinion, it's either it has to be between Njoku and Huntington because they're both questionable. So everybody at least. So as far as we know, that Wednesday it was like a complete bonanza with like a bunch of injuries. But as Friday wears down, it's down to like 2, which is kind of surprising when you think about it. But the 2 I'm more keeping an eye on are Njoku and Huntington, because Huntington, I don't know if he's like the nose tackle or like the defensive tackle for like if he's going to be like a rotational for this defensive line. But you got to keep an eye on him. And then if Njoku is out, which I don't see that happening, I could see a lot of like snaps from Harold Fanning, who has been impressive, especially coming out from Bowling Green. Granted that he didn't have like a good like Senior Bowl, but I think that as time goes on, Harold Fanning will be the future tight end 1 for this Cleveland Browns offense. So you got to keep an eye. You got to keep an eye on Njoku, because I could see him being like the main weapon since the wide receivers for this Cleveland Browns offense have not looked impressive. Like if I were to look at the advanced stats now for this let me pull up for a second. If you take a look at the wide receivers, where is it? Jerry Jeudy leads in all NFL players this season with 7 drops, as well as the league high 24.1 drop rate. So we basically got to apply. So basically, we got to make sure that we eliminate the number 1 player that they have in the passing game, which could be Njoku or Fanning, and then having to throw it to Jeudy. But then again, I could see Gonzo locking up on Jeudy. So we have to make life impossible for Dylan Gabriel regardless.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like Njoku is like really their middle of the field answer, and I'm curious if he's out, if Fannin can fill into that role, which he kind of has proven he can, but again, it's a rookie and fairly new to the system, and there's all that. But do you think Thomas, if Njoku isn't ready to go or he's limited and he can't play all the snaps that he's used to, do you think Gabriel is maybe going to have to rely on more running back checkdowns or just like play a quick game of football where it's just getting the ball out fast before that defensive front can get to him? Or do you think they have something else schemed up if Njoku can't go?
Rely on your running backs, and plus Gabriel is a dual threat quarterback, so he has to rely on his legs at this point. So, literally.
Gotcha. As far as this Patriots injury chart, I believe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Did they confirm Duggar's out for Sunday?
No, he said that. So according to Mike Vrabel, when he was asked about like the injury reports, he says that he's going to be questionable. So anything can happen by tomorrow.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, do you think Duggar being out really affects us, or do you think because we have Jalen Hawkins back this week, it's not really gonna, do anything for us?
Not my concern, because I think Kyle Duggar has been a liability so far, even coming back. Like, I don't think Kyle Duggar has been improving ever since that injury. Like, I thought I had high hopes for Kyle Duggar. And after seeing him playing a lot of snaps, especially like 100% of the snaps last season, I have seen nothing out of Kyle Duggar.
Yeah, Kyle Duggar has kind of been a disappointment ever since getting that big contract. It was either under Mayo or the year prior, but still, like, at the time, he probably deserved the contract. But man, it is kind of blown up in the Patriots' face. Yeah, I'm more confident in seeing what Craig Woodson can do and Jalen Hawkins and all that rather than Duggar even playing. I have seen some reports, and I guess I want your opinions on this. It's very like outlandish thing, but there are some people speculating because AJ Brown is out this week and Kyle Duggar may be out this week, that there's been like rumors of a trade where AJ Brown for like a second and Kyle Duggar, because I guess the Eagles have been shopping around for secondary help. Do you think that's something we can pull off, or do you think that's more of like a make-a-wish type of thing?
I think this is more of a make-a-wish type of thing, because I doubt how he would make a move like this, especially when this Eagles offense has been one of the weirdest ever compared to last season. Like, I have zero clue what the hell's going on. My assumption is that they now have a new offensive coordinator, and typically when it comes to like new offensive coordinators for the Eagles, they don't look good. And you need like an experienced offensive coordinator to make sure that the Eagles look great, in my opinion. But
yeah. The Eagles have really seemed to struggle on offense, which is interesting. So we're going to move on to talking about the roster. So I know typically we start talking about the offense for the teams that we cover, but with the Browns defense kind of being the cornerstone of their team, I'd like to start there. I'm going to ask you, Thomas, and it may be a very easy answer, but who do you think is the most impactful player on this Browns defense?
Myles Garrett. 100% Myles Garrett. He's one of the best defensive ends in football. He's probably one of the best defensive players in football, arguably, in the league. Not only in this conference, but the whole league. Like, honestly, like, if you don't have the name Myles Garrett in your team, then I don't know what to tell you here. The Browns, if they do not have Garrett in this point, which in this case he is playing, then the defense is going to be non-existent.
Yeah, I have to agree. I feel like Myles Garrett is the lifeblood of the Browns defense, and he really has been over the past, 5 years. You could argue even ever since he came into the league, he has just been for that defense. And it's funny because earlier in the year, he was complaining like, "Oh, I want to be traded. I want to go somewhere that I can win championships." Then the owner opens up his checkbook, and it's, "Oh, I love being here." So he's definitely a bag chaser, but I don't think anybody can doubt the level of play and the skill set that man has. Very likely, if he keeps up the production, he is going to be a Hall of Famer, and it's going to be a tough test for us. For you, Dow, do you think Will Campbell has any shot of shutting down Myles Garrett, or is it just let's hope we can hold him off for a few plays here and there because Garrett is going to get his?
I think that at this point, I think he could hold him off. I could see like 50% that we're like win matchups against Myles Garrett, but I don't think that getting Will Campbell would be the issue. I could see like Myles Garrett finding like a weak like spot in the offensive line, and that is Jared Wilson. For some apparent reason, Jared Wilson has been looking abysmal when it comes to like the pass blocking. So I will not be shocked if Myles Garrett gets onto Jared Wilson, force Jared Wilson to like pass block and then get flopped, and then Drake Maye has to run for his life. That's my only concern. My question is if they're going to start Jared Wilson again, or I think that they're going to like use Ben Brown to be the left guard again. That's going to be the question.
Yeah, I definitely think that is an interesting scenario because obviously there has been a lot of uproar in Patriots Nation where people are complaining about how Jared Wilson has played recently, which is kind of surprising because, he's a rookie. And me personally, I would just say throw him out there and let him keep learning. I think being a rookie and playing a lineman is a lot different than being a rookie and playing quarterback. And I think it's the opposite where, as a quarterback, you want to sit and learn. As a lineman, I think you need those reps against high caliber, players in the NFL. So personally, I would just keep Jared Wilson in. But yeah, a lot of people have been clamoring for Ben Brown, and it may be just because of size, because Jared Wilson is a smaller sized lineman and Ben Brown is a bigger guy. And I mean, I'd be happy either way. I think Ben Brown's been serviceable. He was even serviceable last year when he had to come in at center, I believe. So I like both those players. But let me personally, let's keep Jared Wilson in. Let's keep him learning. Let's keep him going.
Yeah, especially that this defensive line is nothing you can't mess with this offensive line because not only you have to stop Garrett, you have to stop Graham too. Because Graham, we thought he would be a bust after he puked during practice, but I think that if Jared Wilson can stop Graham, I think there's a way that Will Campbell, if he can do well against and stopping Garrett, I think that we should be fine. But let's see if Garrett cannot swing helmets. Thank you.
That's a good comment. We're gonna need to keep everybody's helmet on with like duct tape, double straps. Like, oh man, I think there was a clip of Myles Garrett either this year or maybe last year or something, and somebody's helmet came off, and he went and picked it up, and somebody yelled at him, being, "Don't go swinging that," and he's like, "I'm just trying to give it back to you." But that's probably one of the most iconic clips ever where he goes to smack the shit out of Mason Rudolph with the helmet.
Nevertheless, he got suspended indefinitely, and then Rudolph got fined.
Yeah.
And I think Pouncey also got suspended too. But that's like ages ago. But I think we're in a different realm now where we don't have to see Mason Rudolph starting and then the rest of the story happens.
Right. Because Drake Maye is such a dual threat and he has had very high completion percentage and he has been able to scramble out of the pocket and pick up first downs, do you, Thomas, think we're going to see maybe a bit of a regression with Drake Maye going against this defense? And do you think the Browns' game plan is maybe going to have somebody like a Devin Bush or a Jerome Baker constantly QB spy or shadow him across the field so he isn't able to get out, or maybe their line tries to contain Drake Maye a bit more?
No, I don't think so here. I don't see the corners going to be containing Drake Maye's passes. I don't see it happen here. Our receivers are going to go locked down on those corners. I have no trust in the Cleveland corners. The only best part of the defense is the line. I don't trust their corners one bit.
So when you think about this, Thomas, I'll ask you this: you don't think that Denzel Ward will make an impact whatsoever because he's the cornerback one for this team?
No, Denzel Ward, in my opinion, is washed up. He's not even the same player as he once was.
Yeah, I agree with you because if Booty can moss Denzel Ward like he did with Stingley and an overrated Sauce Gardner last season, I think he can do it with any good cornerback.
Yeah, for sure. I'd have to agree. Denzel Ward kind of fell off. I haven't even checked if he has an interception this year, but I thought at one point in his career, like he was leading the league in interceptions. Like he was just that good of a corner, that good of a shutdown corner. And yeah, he's just kind of fell off. And it'll be interesting to see if this secondary can get going. But yeah, I think the Browns D line is going to just, it's very similar to how our defense runs. We're like, I do think our corners are better, but I think the pass rush on both sides is really going to be the tell to this game on whether if they can get to the quarterback, hurry up some of these throws, make these quarterbacks make some bad decisions and ultimately throw it into the hands of the defense. But let's kind of move over to the offense real quick. For you, Dow, who do you think the biggest impact player on this offense and is going to be the key to the Browns maybe getting some touchdowns this Sunday?
In my opinion, it has to be Junkins because if I'm looking at all these stats, Junkins have been looking really impressive, especially as a rookie. Granted that he did have some legal issues prior to the season starting. Like when we take a look at this, Quinshon Junkins 420 rushing yards after contact trails only Jonathan Taylor and Javonte Williams among running backs this season. So and then also keep an eye on the rookies, to be honest, because if Njoku is out, keep an eye on these rookies, Judkins and Harold Fanning, because I'm looking at this stat too. The Harold Fanning trails only Christian McCaffrey for missed tackles forced after the catch this season. So basically, in my opinion, you have to keep an eye on Fanning and Judkins, the two rookies. So in my opinion, we have to do a great job, and I mean a great job in tackling these players because there were instances where we've seen a lot of missed tackles, especially from Robert Spillane, who unfortunately had 8 missed tackles. So it will be an interesting test to see how well this defense could be doing a good job in pass coverage, but also a good job in like tackling all these players. Clean tackles, not like these aggressive tackles to the point that we get flagged and then fined in the worst way possible.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Like, Judkins is just a beast, man. Like, I remember watching the draft and being like, oh, I hope Judkins falls to the Patriots here. Like, I feel like if we all watched the draft and he did fall and we took him instead of Trevion, like, we'd be very excited about our running room right now because it feels like Judkins was like a day one bell cow type of back that, you know, Vrabel and all of us have kind of been yearning for. Obviously, we get Trevion, and Trevion, I think, will come into his own, but I don't think he's going to be what Judkins is or probably ever will be. But, yeah, Judkins is a hell of a player. It's going to take everybody on that defense to stop him. As far as this offensive line, Thomas, do you think the Patriots are just going to be able to have a heyday, like throw haymakers, just do whatever they want with this offensive line? Do you think this offensive line is probably the worst that we've faced all year?
Stupid fucking Mike! Ugh. For God's sakes. Yeah, I think this offensive line for the Browns is literally not confident about themselves against this Patriots defense. Probably, in my opinion, probably the top 5, top 6 best rush defenses in this league.
Yeah, I think this Browns offensive line is just going to be abysmal, and it could just look like turnstiles. I mean, let's not forget, at the beginning of the season, more so off season, the talk around Patriots before the draft was, ooh, we need to sign Cam Robinson. We need to sign Cam Robinson. Oh, we need to get him. We need to get him. Cam Robinson has been a total disappointment. He ends up signing with the Texans, who then cut him. the Browns take him as their scraps essentially because the Browns O-line has been so shit, and he still continues to play like shit. Joel Bitonio seems like a shell of himself, which is really sad because Bitonio was really good. Wyatt Teller, another guy that used to be pretty decent, and I don't know what the heck happened. It just seems like this Browns line has really regressed. I remember even earlier in the season, too, we had talked about potentially bringing on Tevin Jenkins to join our team because of that history with like Vrabel being on the Browns and blah, 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 blah. But man, I think we dodged a bullet bringing in Cam Robinson. What do you think, Dal? Like, do you think our team would be as good as it is if we didn't take Will Campbell and we had gone in the Cam Robinson route and maybe taken a receiver or something in the first round?
No, it wouldn't even matter at this point because Cam Robinson, he did spend most of his time with the Jaguars. So even if we get Cam Robinson, just because there is a connection between him and Doug Marrone, since during Doug Marrone's like tenure as the head coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars, he did have Cam Robinson. But ever since like he got traded to the Vikings and had the same stats as Vidarian Blow, it wouldn't impact anything with the offensive line. It would just be like same old, same old. The only thing that will save Cam Robinson is if they had good coaching, which I don't see it. And thankfully, I think we did a great job of drafting Will Campbell. Granted that fans might say otherwise, but in my opinion, looking back at it, I think we dodged multiple bullets, like getting not getting Cam Robinson and not like getting Ronnie Stanley, who did get re-signed by the Baltimore Ravens, because that was the guy that I wanted. And then maybe draft like a future left tackle just so that he could be under the tutelage of Ronnie Stanley. If we get him.
I think we really lucked out with Will Campbell, and obviously a lot of people were against him because of the size and whatnot. But now having, the 2020 vision and the retrospective of being like, wow, we could have had Cam Robinson as our left tackle. Like we literally have maybe a worse O-line than we had the last year. Like it's that crazy to think about. But Will Campbell has been, a cornerstone of that offensive line, and I think it's only going to be better. We could be looking at one of the great Patriots O-linemen by the time his career is done. I know it's early, but he's playing, as Gerard says, Campbell is a top 5 left tackle right now, and I couldn't agree more. Wide receiver wise, do you think Jerry Jeudy is going to be able to get going at all on our corners, Thomas, or do you think it's just going to be, Gonzo's going to lock him up and this Browns defense is just going to be depravity essentially in the passing game?
It's all that comes a lot down here. Jeudy is just not the same receiver as he once was when he played for the Denver Broncos, which is probably the best in his career. When he traded for the Browns are just a dumpster fire in the wide receiver room.
Yeah, I'm not impressive with. The wide receiver room does not look impressive to me. Like, look at this wide receiver room. You have Jerry Jeudy, then you have Isaiah Bond, who was supposed to be in the 3rd round, but because of those legal issues, he was then an undrafted free agent for those reasons. Like he was like a speedster for the Texas Longhorns, and ever since those legal issues, he was a shell of himself. And then I'm looking at the rest. Jamari Thrash, who was like meh. Gage Leverdane, I don't know who that is, and then Malachi Corley, who was the former 3rd rounder for the New York Jets. And with Malachi Corley, I did a deep dive into the Jets roster. He is abysmal as a wide receiver. Like, you don't drop the ball before hitting the end zone. And basically, he thinks that he wants to be a great wide receiver, and that was the reason for why the Jets cut Malachi Corley, because of his abysmal performance when he was with the Jets. So I'm looking at this roster right now, and I heard that Bell retired during the season. So basically, this wide receiver room, it doesn't look impressive to me. But then again, anything can happen if we don't do a good job of locking up these receivers and then making them look like gods because of how bad our pass coverage is.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's like on one hand, the Patriots are going to have their toughest matchup all year, and on the other hand, the Patriots feel like they're going to have their easiest matchup all year. It's like two sides of the coins. The Browns' offense is 30th or maybe 32nd, like they're almost dead last, and their defense is top 3. And I don't think the Patriots' offense is anywhere. It might be like top 11, something like that, top 15. And their defense is like, at least run defense is top 3, and pass defense has been kind of suspect. But it is going to be interesting how the Patriots handle this matchup.
I know that also when it comes to Jim Schwartz, I'm looking up him right now. He uses a lot of the 4-3 defense. And he turned around a defense, and then he uses a lot of 4-3 defense. And so he's going to be really aggressive and strong with the defensive line. So basically, and also leaving high rankings in sacks and takeaways. So it's a key point to think about when you have to like look at the pass blocking grades and see how well this offensive line can do against this aggressive defensive line. And so last season, this defense, in spite of how bad it was, it's in the top 10. So basically, you can't underestimate Jim Schwartz of how great his defensive schemes are. And besides, this is our first time going up against him as a defensive coordinator, because the previous defensive coordinator, when we go up against the Browns, we made it look easy. And the last time we were at home, it was like 45-7 because of that defensive coordinator. But now with this defensive coordinator, anything can happen.
Definitely. It's just going to be fun. It's going to be a fun game. I hope we can go into Sunday and not be like bashing our skulls in because we don't want to watch this game because it's just going terribly, because I know that's how every Patriots fan reacted to the opening of the Titans. We literally were watching it going, are you serious? Are we about to get like blown out by the Titans or something? Like, what's happening here? But obviously we just got to stay away from those slow starts. Real quick, we'll cover the special teams. I don't think it's anything major, but I don't know. Does anybody returner-wise scare you? Do you think their kickers like automatic? What are you guys' thoughts? You think? I'll start with you, Dow, on the special teams unit. Is there anything to really look out for? Anything scare you?
Isaiah Bond could be underrated, especially when he was a speedster for Texas. So basically, don't underestimate him. Jerome Ford. That is the one guy I know Tyler said that he wanted to trade for, since the Patriots are in need of a running back ever since we lost Antonio Gibson. So we're still, as we head into the trade deadline, I will not be surprised that after this game we could get Jerome Ford through the trade deadline. I don't know how much it's going to cost. Like when it comes to like the trade, if we have to trade away like our day 3 pick, I bet you it's going to be a day 3 pick for Jerome Ford because he's still on his rookie contract. And I think that the Browns at this point, they are a shell of themselves. Like, granted that their only wins are against the Browns let me look at the schedule to see how well the Browns did, because I am not impressed with the Browns whatsoever. Granted, their defense is good, but they beat a Baltimore Ravens. The Green Bay Packers, because of their defense. And so it was a shit show against the Green Bay Packers because their defense played really well. And then the Miami Dolphins, like, oh my gosh, the Miami Dolphins, their easy wins are the only game that impressed me was the Green Bay game. The Miami Dolphins doesn't impress me because you all know the Miami Dolphins are shit. But if I look at all the other like games, their defense, they may look scary, but not like when you go up against Baltimore when Lamar Jackson was still healthy, and then when you go up against Detroit, when they have one of the best, when that defense couldn't stop the best offense in Detroit. So, not to say that this is going to be a difficult matchup, but at the same time, when you take a look at these two, those are the two teams that are going to be like top 10 and top 5, minus Baltimore, who I think they're a shell of itself, and I think they're going to fire their defensive coordinator at the end of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, Gerard mentions a great point that I did not think about. Browns are winless on the road with 3 blowout losses, and there's something we need to think about. We're going back home, and ever since that Carolina game, we are 1-2 at home so far this season. We have to do a great job at making sure that we have good home advantage, because yes, we are like road warriors, and I love the fact that we're road warriors. But it doesn't make an excuse for the fact that we haven't done a good job at winning at home. So this is going to be a huge test to see how well we can do in front of our local fans and make sure that we impress them at home.
Definitely. I pose another question too. Do you think for the Patriots, we'll kind of get away from the Cleveland Browns roster, but for the Patriots, is there any one player, it doesn't matter what side of the ball or special teams, do you predict a certain player maybe having a game that pushes us over the edge? Do you think it's a Christian Barmore breakout game where he gets a sack? Do you think it's a Carlton Davis comes to life? You both can answer. It doesn't matter who goes first, but who's the player to you that is going to take a step this game?
It's between Barmore and Tonga, in my opinion, because Tonga, like Thomas said, is one of the most underrated players. I will not be shocked if he gets a sack onto Dylan Gabriel, and that would be like one of the best things, because we see I would not be shocked again if Chason has another Fiesta game, or Landry has another Fiesta game, or Milton Williams has another Fiesta game. But if there's a couple things I want to see: Barmore getting his first sack, Gonzo getting his first Gonzo or Davis getting his first interception. That is the one thing I would love to see. I would love to see if Gonzo can get his very, very first interception, because we see Marcus Jones getting 2 interceptions at one. He has 2 interceptions in his belt, but Marcus Jones, no one going to underestimate Marcus Jones. Because I had problems with him because of his health, but Marcus Jones has been falling out, and I'm not going to be surprised if he has another game. Anybody can have a breakout game, but it's those core players that haven't got a takeaway yet. Those are the ones that I want to keep an eye on, like Gonzo and Barmore.
And how about you, Thomas?
To me, I have one player each, the position here. One for defense. I want to see a breakout. I want to see something out of Milton Williams more, because he hasn't done anything more than what we saw. He made some great sacks at the end, but I'm sorry that he needs to produce more offensively. I'm going to continue to say his name, and I don't give a damn. Stephon Diggs. He needs to produce more, including I want to see his first touchdown as a Patriot. Do that against, probably, in my opinion, the most mid and probably the worst secondaries, in my opinion, out of the Browns.
I don't disagree with you. Also, I heard the chat earlier in the stream when we were talking about this. They wanted to see if Kyle Williams could get at least a production. Granted that this is going to be his redshirt season. I will not be surprised if it's his redshirt season. But do you think that Kyle Williams could have his breakout game? Or I think you're going to see a lot more of Diggs, as Thomas Lenchu alluded to, Booty, Pop, and maybe Hollins.
Yeah, I could see Kyle Williams. I don't know. It feels like all of our receivers, like Pop, Booty, Diggs, Hollins, they've all been stepping up and trending up. It's hard to see where Kyle Williams fits in. Josh McDaniels has noted that he's been taking positive strides, and he very well could be implemented into the game plan, into this offense. But it's kind of, I'd almost compare it to an Edelman situation where maybe he needs to start contributing in another facet of football, whether it's maybe he tries out returning kicks, or I wouldn't do that or returning punts at least, because I feel like Marcus Jones has pretty much solidified that role. But maybe you throw Kyle Williams on kickoffs opposite of Trevion and say, you guys go and return it. Because, Kyle Williams has the blazing speed, and he can cut on routes. Let's see him do that in the open field like that. But maybe that's his path to actually seeing more playtime, similar to how we're seeing, Chisholm get on the field by doing some returns and special teams. It would be nice. Personally, I would love to see a Trevion Henderson breakout. I would love to see, maybe not so much in the run game, but I'm thinking we're going to maybe have to get the ball out quick with this pass rush. We might see a lot of dump offs, a lot of screens to Trevion this game. So that's who I would probably say to look out for, and I'm hoping would have a really good game for us.
I am shocked that we haven't seen any like Trevion Henderson usage as like somewhat maybe like a pass catcher, because I know he is great as a pass catcher. So if we could see him maybe like an additional wide receiver, if like any of our other receivers get like cornered or maybe like guarded, I could see him maybe get like some receiving yards and maybe get his first receiving touchdown. But in the run game, I think we're gonna have to see a lot more of Stevenson. Granted that if he fumbles the ball, and I know that Thomas is gonna be pissed if we don't see any ball security, he'll say bye-bye. But I think he will get benched. But I know Vrabel said that he's not gonna trade him regardless, because all the players are advocating for Stevenson regardless.
Yeah, trading Stevenson. I'm sorry. Like, as much I want to say ball security to be screaming at Stevenson, like, I'm sorry. Stevenson's still one of our top running backs. Like, if we trade him here, I'm sorry. It makes no sense to me at this point. And I know Andy is not a fan of Stevenson's fumbles. He wants out. I'm sorry. No offense. If we get rid of Stevenson, who's going to be our big back? There's no big backs in this league that is like Stevenson. I'm sorry. If there is a running back, then we definitely need additional running back. But I'm sorry. Your ball security is the biggest in here, but I'm sorry. Like, get rid of Stevenson? No, might be the dumbest idea out there.
Definitely.
He's probably one of our most reliable running backs in this team. We drafted him for a purpose.
Yeah, I don't think getting rid of Ramondre Stevenson this year does us any good. I think it would only hurt us as a football team. If we want to maybe next year look into that avenue, then okay, cool. But I think Ramondre has been a solid runner, and I think a lot of his plays just get overshadowed because he's essentially Fumbleina. And if he can just figure out how to hold on to a football, then, we'll be golden. And I think he has a positive skill set. So we'll definitely see where that goes. Before we get into, some of the predictions and some like final takeaways, I would like to say just really appreciate everybody coming out here. It is my first time hosting, so I appreciate everyone bearing with me, and especially you guys for answering my questions and kind of doing the best so we can all have a cohesive type of relationship here. If everybody in the audience could subscribe, mean the world to us. Anything to help the channel grow, share the live, share future lives. We are running a giveaway really close here at the end of this show. It's going to be for 4 sports cards. To enter into that giveaway, you can either scan the QR code in the top right of the video, or the link is in the description to join our Discord. And if you can just post in the introduce yourself section, why you became a Patriots fan, how long you've been a Patriots fan, and a favorite moment, that'd be great. To be honest, this one time, I know everybody doesn't have Discord, so for this one time for this giveaway, if you guys want, you can just comment in the YouTube live here, how long you've been a fan and whatnot, and that'll count as an enter into the giveaway, because we are doing the giveaway right at the end of this stream. So feel free to post, why you became a fan, how long, favorite moment, and we'll get you on that wheel. So predictions. What do you think, Dow, is going to be the final score? And is there something that tips one team over the other that gives, them the edge?
This game prediction is going to be interesting, in my opinion. I think this is going to be. I don't see this as a blowout compared to all these other games. Granted that this is the Cleveland Browns, and anything could happen on a given Sunday. So, granted, Browns are home. Browns suck at home. We haven't done a great job at home. But then again, last time we won it was a blowout against the Panthers. So I would say 24-10 Patriots. Drake May at least getting 2 touchdowns. There's a possibility that Drake May might get his first interception since the Steelers. So 24-10.
Awesome. And how about you, Thomas? What are your predictions for the game?
I don't see any interceptions for Drake May. I say 252, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions because I don't trust the secondary. And I think Stephon Diggs will get a touchdown eventually. Patriots 27, Browns 9. And I think the Browns will score only 3 field goals.
Gotcha. So you have the Pats kind of winning it pretty handily, honestly. Nice. Me personally, I think, as I was kind of saying throughout the show, it's kind of like Patriots going against a top defense and the Patriots defense going against a bottom offense. Those are going to be the key matchups. My score prediction is 24 Patriots, Browns 16. And I just think, as I think May's just going to continue on his upward trajectory. I think he's going to continue to have his hat in the MVP race. He's going to keep up with completion percentage, big throws. He's going to have some explosive plays. I mean, he's the type of quarterback where it doesn't matter. He's going to get his. And I mean, I just really want us to get the run game going, but I agree. I think it could be a close game. So that's why I'm going 24-16.
Nice. And I'm gonna take a look at some of your predictions. Everybody can participate. The 7 of you who are in the chat right now can also participate on your game prediction. So I started a couple of your game predictions before we did our game prediction. So Ray said that that the Pats might win 17-13. This is going to be a defensive game, and I know that fans are going to be moaning and groaning about a defensive matchup. But oh well. And then Gerard said, I think Browns get 10. Patriots somehow get 23. Those are some great predictions, guys.
I don't know if it was brought up too. Maybe you talked about it and I zoned out, but this comment here. Hey guys, I haven't been able to confirm this, but have you seen the rumor that Jaguars are shopping Brian Thomas Jr. on the trade block? What are you guys' thoughts on this? Do you think the Patriots would be interested in bringing in someone like a Brian Thomas Jr.? And what do you think it would take to get that deal done? I'll start with you, Dow.
I don't see him getting Brian Thomas Jr. If I'm Brian Thomas Jr., I would not be surprised if he's traded to the Commanders, because Commanders may be in need of a wide receiver, especially when you haven't seen Scary Terry in a lot. And I know Jaden Daniels loves some Brian Thomas Jr., and you have that quarterback at LSU, so I will not be surprised if he goes there. But I have zero clue what's going on with the Jacksonville Jaguars as of late. It's not because Brian Thomas Jr. is bad. I still think he's a good wide receiver. But I think it's more of Trevor Lawrence being a shell of himself. Or either is because of those offensive schemes. So basically, he doesn't fit the new scheme because he was drafted by the other regime. But I can be totally wrong. But Thomas, you can rebuttal this.
The really reason the Jaguars are bad is the offensive line. It's not. The offensive line is a shell of themselves. Trevor Lawrence is still a good quarterback, but when you don't have an offensive line, no protection, all for Drake. I mean, not for Drake. No protection for Lawrence. No protection for your running backs. No protection for anything. Then your offense is going to be shit. So it's the offensive line's fault, honestly. So in my opinion, that's the reason Lawrence isn't going to be digressing at this point here. You do not have a good offensive line. Some digression on your quarterbacks is going to be a big hit.
Also, in addition, I've heard some news when it comes to quarterback moves that the Jets are starting Justin Fields against the Bengals after it was reported that Tyrod Taylor is having a day-to-day with a knee injury, which I think is a stupid idea. I think that Aaron Glenn is dumb enough to fight with the media, knowing how critical the national media, the New York media is. I think that what Aaron Glenn is doing is a disservice. I think they should have never fought with the quarterback saying that, oh, I'm not going to tell you who the quarterback is because it's a competitive advantage. You get no competitive advantage, for goodness sakes. And then we heard that Snoop is going to be the quarterback for the Ravens, from what I heard.
But to be
Go ahead.
to be fair at this point for the Jets here, to be fair for the Jets here, it's not Eric Glenn's fault here. They have a bad roster. Like, he has the quarterback room is completely garbage. So, in my opinion, they're most likely they're going to go after a quarterback in the draft. And
Interesting. Also, when it comes, I'm looking at this proposal from Nelson before we get to the giveaway. He said his score prediction is 24-6 Patriots. He also said that what do you think if if Patriots traded away Booty for Brian Thomas Jr.? I don't see that happening. I think Booty has been I think Booty has been doing a great. I'm sorry. I think Booty is essential to this team, and I think that he's essential to the team. I'm sorry.
You know what? Where's my? You know what? Where's my F? Where's my F? I'm gonna give this trade proposal an F.
Also, I think this is going to be the final question before we start the giveaway. In your opinion, guys, everybody can answer this. How many sacks will the Patriots get on Sunday?
6.
I have an answer for you.
7. 6, 7, 6, 7.
You know what? I'm going to top you off with this.
9. Oh my gosh.
If we're going to do the same way like we did with Caleb Williams last year, with no defensive line and no nothing, I will be happy. This just shows that how our interim defensive play caller, Zach Kerr, has been. And I think as time goes on, he will be a great defensive coordinator, but time will tell. But you ready for the giveaway?
Yeah. I was going to say, I think it's Thomas's brother that posed the question, but why don't us three, give how long we've been Patriots fans, what made us become a fan, and one of our favorite moments since we didn't post in the Discord. I'll start with you, Dow.
So I did get into football full time back in 2022. Ever since when Marcus Jones had that impressive touchdown against the Jets. But if I were to say how long I've been a Patriots fan for, I would say ever since 2014 or 2012. So when I was 8 or 10, when I know my teacher was a huge fan of Tom Brady. So and I know that there was so many questions about Tom Brady for a science exam, which was kind of cool. But yeah, I was a huge fan of the Patriots only because I love the culture. I want to be part of the history of Boston, and obviously Boston's my home city. So you always got to support your hometown no matter what.
Definitely. How about you, Thomas?
So, crazy thing. Been a Patriots fan since long as I live, probably when I was born, since my parents got me into football. We got it, and the first time I watched an official Patriots game, which I believe the 2011 season, 2012, when we lost to the damn Giants in the Super Bowl, which really pisses me off. But ever since then, here, my family's been a Boston sports family for a long time here. So I've been only supporting Boston sports teams, including the Patriots, which apparently, and my favorite player at the time, Tom Brady, he's still the greatest of all time. I don't care what anybody says. And And the question to who is what my favorite moment is, you know for a damn fact it was Super Bowl 51 when we at that overtime game when James White got crossed that line to win us that game, and don't forget to mention that Julian Edelman catch, which is just icing on the cake.
100%. So for me, I've been a Patriots fan my whole life. I was kind of born into it. It's an interesting dynamic in our family because, my parents are divorced, but when I was younger, my whole mom's side of the family is Pittsburgh Steelers fans because they're from Pennsylvania, and my dad's whole side of the family is all New England Patriots fans because they're all New England born and raised, basically. So it was just an interesting dynamic on game days, but I've always I've had a really good relationship with my dad, always leaned towards Patriots. So I'm 25 now. I probably really started getting into football. I always was a fan, but probably not getting into football until I was about 9-10 years old, probably around the same time Thomas was talking, where it's like you're just watching around 2011, you're seeing them in that Super Bowl against the Giants. So that's probably really where my love of football came. My favorite moment probably is the toss to White. He's in touchdown in overtime against the Falcons in Super Bowl 51. I remember myself literally jumping and screaming like a little girl, thinking the game was going to be over, and they came back and won. A funny little moment is our area where we're at football wise is a big thing in New England. And it was like CCD, which is basically like a Catholic Sunday school that you go to once a week. And it was the AFC championship between the Patriots and Broncos. And obviously the Patriots lost, but I have vivid memories of them being like, cancel the classes. We're not teaching Jesus today. We're going to watch the game. And everybody was in the auditorium literally watching the final drive of that Patriots game, where we failed on the 2-point conversion. But those are just some funny moments. So we'll get into the giveaway right now. Is there anybody I'm missing, Dow? I think I added everyone from the Discord.
So we did added one player, but I don't. One guy joined, but I don't think he introduced himself yet, and that is Patriot 03. I would assume that's Hooded Knight because I see Hooded Knight in the Yeah, it's Hood. Yeah, I think it's Hooded Knight. I could be totally wrong, but I don't know because I see.
Patriots Universe. I just added him onto the wheel. I think Red Error and Patriots Universe didn't comment, but I still added him to the wheel. And then I was going to ask, is there anybody in the YouTube comments that you could reach out to as well? That, I mean, I don't mind if they don't join the Discord because they're showing support, but I'd like to add them to the wheel if possible. Like,
there's one.
Is Nelson or
Nelson's in there? I think the one. So let me double check. We got Eric, we got Ray, we got Gerard, we got NJ, we got Nelson. We got Patriot Universe, the Red Error. I think the one more. Oh, I think it's Austin. I think Austin joined. No. Ashton, excuse me.
Okay, as long as we have a way to reach out to Ashton, I will add him to the wheel. I just didn't want to. The last thing I want to do is give away this stuff and somebody wins and then they never reach out to me, so there's no way for me to, do it. But basically, if you're one of the people that the wheel lands on and you win, reach out to Dow or reach out to me, whether that's on Discord or via YouTube. We'll get in contact. We'll figure out how we can ship this to you guys. But we're going to start the giveaway. I'm going to share the screen right. Oh, that's the wrong one.
And don't worry, guys. We will be doing more giveaways. This will be a monthly thing.
So I'll go ahead and add Ashton to it real quick.
So Sanchito is Gerard. M16 Patriots Nation. That's Nelson. So yeah, we're good. All we need is Ashton's name, and then yeah.
Alrighty. Just if everyone's here, I'll spin. Just give like a thumbs up in the comments real quick. I assume everyone's here. I just don't want somebody to miss out. That's all.
Gerard said, "Your guys are most generous. Time to start membership tiers." That's when we get 500 subscribers, and that's if everybody subscribes. We get to 500. I apply. This channel applies to be a YouTube partner, and we get these super chats, which you have been desperately waiting for. And I promise you, if we get more subscribers, and if everybody likes this video, this YouTube channel will be recommended for multiple Patriots fans, and it's gonna be a fiesta. And obviously, I'm gonna advertise this to Colby's channel too, so don't worry. I'll add more people into the Discord. There should be a lot more than 13, as far as I know. So, ready?
Which card do you guys want to start off with?
Let's start off with the Will Campbell one.
Will Campbell. All right. So it's a Will Campbell score card autograph. It's kind of hard to see. I have pictures in the Discord if you can see, but this spin right here is going to be for the Will Campbell autograph card.
And the first winner is none other than M16 Patriots Nation. That's Nelson Lloyd. Nelson, if you are in here, congratulations. You win the Will Campbell card. Congratulations to Nelson.
Congrats, Nelson. Congrats. So now that he's won, I am going to remove him because I would appreciate if we can have different winners. I don't just want one person winning. I hope you understand. So we're going to remove you from the spin. Let's do, so next we're going to do the Drake May PSA 8 Panini Prism rookie card. All right. Trying to figure it. There we go. Back to that screen. So this is for Panini Prism Drake May rookie card PSA 8.
Oh! It was a close one between Ashton and Gerard, but the second winner is Gerard. Congratulations.
Congrats, Gerard. You're bringing home a Drake May PSA 8. Nice, dude. All right.
And that's for the Drake May Prism one, right?
That is for the Drake May. So I have two prisms, but this is the normal prism. The other one is a Prism Deca. This one's a PSA 8. This is an SGC 8.5. So this one's a little bit better, but both really good nonetheless. I mean, if you guys actually want like comparable prices, because I kind of do sell cards and collect cards as like a side business, the Will Campbell is probably $15-20. It's nothing crazy, but it's more of like a personal type of thing. The Drake May card, to get a card graded, costs $40 alone. An 8, so at the bare minimum, you're at least, it's probably like $30. It's nothing crazy, but it's something to get your collection started. These aren't cards to make you world beaters or to, oh my gosh, I just made big, I won the lottery. This is just like us giving back. We're giving you Patriots cards. I hope you guys enjoy them. We're gonna continue to give, do giveaways and hopefully up what we are able to give away. But at this point in time, this is what we can do. So we hope you guys appreciate it.
And you're going to add something into your collection and being like, oh, I have my favorite player in my collection. And then you can brag to all your friends and family about it.
Exactly. And if anybody's like serious about card collecting, like definitely reach out to me. I can teach you things I know and, how to build your own collection. So next, we are going to give away the Demario Douglas autograph scorecard. Demario Pop Douglas.
The third winner for this is Nathan. Congratulations, Nathan.
Is it Nathan?
It's Nathan. It's your brother, man. So all I have to do, Thomas, is tell your brother that you want that he wants.
Is it Nathan?
Stuff. Yes, it's Nathan, for goodness sakes.
All right, it's Nathan. We'll just remove that. Alrighty, so that one went to Nathan.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, he's watching.
And he's lagging.
And-
Stupid. Again, my brother's watching college football, so I'll let him know.
Alrighty, awesome. And like I said, we'll continue to give more cards away. I do have another Will Campbell and another Demario Douglas that we could give away at some point. I'm still kind of seeing through my collection what I do actually want to give away. But yeah, so thank you guys for all coming out. We're about to do the last giveaway. It's going to be for a Drake May SGC 8.5 Prism Deca rookie card. Alrighty, here we go. Last one.
The third winner is NJ. Congratulations, NJ, wherever you are, but you just won the second Drake May card.
Congrats to all the winners. You know what, Dow? Give me 1 second. Let me see if I have anything else I can give away. I feel bad. Maybe I have one more thing. Let me just.
You have one more thing?
Keep them entertained. I don't know. Let me see.
By the way, guys, if you're interested in wanting to take part of our giveaways, please make sure that not only you joined our Discord, which is in the QR code. What's that, Thomas? As I was saying, guys, if you want to make sure that you want to participate in future giveaways, all you have to do is click on that. Press that QR code. That gives you access to our own Discord server. From there, you join in the entry tunnel. Then you introduce yourself, like what's your name, how you got into a Patriot, how you became a Patriots fan, and tell them what you like about being a Patriots fan, or basically what is your favorite moment. From there, we have a lot more in the future. So basically, this is not going to be our first giveaway. So we will do more future giveaways. So yeah, you should be. This is going to be our first giveaway, but we will do more giveaways moving forward. It will depend. So for now, we're just going to start off with cards. And as time progresses, once this channel grows, we will start giving away like autographed footballs, autographed jerseys, maybe like some merch, like a pen, not something meaningless, but something that's going to be worth it, like shirts. And is Austin getting a football? We shall see. Favorite Patriot player of all time, not Tom Brady. For me, oh my God, I'll say Gronkowski.
That's easy for me. Yeah, this is easy for me. Julian Edelman, for sure.
That is a really good. Oh, I just realized something. Thank you, Tyler, for mentoring this. Not only are you going to tell everybody your name, how you became a Patriots fan, but once you introduce yourself, write your favorite Patriots player, not naming Tom Brady, in your introduce yourself channel. That way you could get so much that way we will be able to find out who is a true Patriots fan and how much you love it.
All right, I'm back. I got 3 things. They're not going to be like the craziest thing, but I thought it'd be
Also,
cool.
Austin, I told everybody this, but not only you get doing in your introduce yourself, you tell everybody your name and how you became a Patriots fan, but also who is your favorite Patriots player, not naming Tom Brady.
My favorite Patriots player, not naming Tom Brady.
Also-
I mean, Edelman's the easy choice. You know what? Low-key underrated. I loved Rex Burkhead. I really did. I used to call him Berkey Jerky, and I would be like, "Come on, Berkey Jerky, get that touchdown." All right, so
Berkey Jerky. Did not even think of that. I just my fan.
That is so creative. I did not
Berkey
think about
Jerky.
that.
What the fuck? Berkey Jerky. Are you fucking kidding me?
Also, guys, if you
Great
haven't
name.
already, please make sure you smash the like button, hit subscribe. We're still at 7 likes, but it would be great if the rest of you subscribe. Subscribe and click the like button. It helps gets the algorithm going and it helps grow the community here. Excuse me. So, Nelson says Ty Law and Vince Wilfork are my favorite players of all time. Those are great options.
all right, so for this one, again, this guy isn't on the team anymore, but he was one of my favorites, which is why I collected him. But I hope it brings somebody else some joy. It's Jaheim Bell, 8.5, graded SGC. Jaheim Bell rookie, and it's actually numbered 22 out of 249. It's hard to see, but it's like there in the top corner. And what it basically means is they only made 249 of them, and you have number 22. So I'll be giving this one away. There we go.
Who is it? The winner for this one is Patriots Universe. Congratulations, man. If you're in the Discord, congratulations. So,
Congrats, Patriot Universe. Please make sure to reach out to us, guys. Please make sure to reach out to us and tell us what you want. I mean, we'll always be able to go back and look at the recording, so it's not like anybody's gonna lie to us. Hey, I got that Tom Brady rookie that you were giving up. No.
who's Patriots Universe? Yes, Gerard. Go check our Discord, not the Patriots Clubhouse Discord, the Patriots Global Discord. There's someone named Patriots Universe in there, and yeah, I think this guy, you see him in the AFC. He talks about how he hates the Jets and the Bills and whatnot. You see him around in the chat whenever the AFC's roundtable goes by. But yeah, congratulations to Patriots Universe.
Alrighty, next we have a Antonio Gibson on the fire emoji. So if you look, it's like a shiny and it's got fire emojis all around. Antonio Gibson. Oh, geez. There we go.
Who wins the Antonio Gibson? It's none other than Mr. Ray. Congratulations, Ray. You just won an Antonio Gibson card. Congratulations.
Congrats, Ray. Congrats. All right. And honestly, this is probably the best card that I gave away tonight that we're about to do. It's for like a Drake May on the pink, and I'm doing it because Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So
let's see what the card. Oh shit! It's a Drake May pink card.
It's a pink variation. Rookie, rated rookie, optic.
Drake May pink card is happening now, and the winner for that is the Red Error. Congratulations to the Red Error. Ashton, Eric, congratulations for taking part of this. you will eventually take part in future giveaways no matter what.
Definitely. Congrats to everyone who won something. Sorry to those who didn't win. Like Dow said, we'll be trying to do more giveaways in the future, not just cards, but maybe it's hats, signed footballs. We don't know.
And I think signed jerseys are going to be difficult. But I heard from a little birdie that Colby is doing a giveaway on his own. And yeah, it would be nice if I can get my hands on the rivalry jersey.
Yeah, 100%. You guys need one of these.
I
They're
know.
awesome.
Same here.
But yes, guys, if you haven't already, please make sure that you smash the like button, hit subscribe, and make sure to scan that QR code to the top right of your screen. That will give you access to the Patriots Clubhouse Discord. All you have to do is introduce yourself, give us your name, why you became a Patriots fan, and who is your favorite player from the Patriots, not Tom Brady. And there should be a link in the description below if you're watching the recap, so you don't want to miss it out. And everybody in the comments down below, if you're watching the recap, what are your thoughts about this Patriots-Browns game, and what are your game predictions?
Definitely, guys. Yeah. Again, thank you, everyone, for showing out, showing constant support. We really appreciate everything, and I really hope everybody enjoyed the cards that they got in the giveaway. This has been the MayeFlower Voyage, presented by none other than Patriots Clubhouse.
And we will be back at least Monday or Tuesday for the post-game recap, and I hope we win this game. And as always, guys, go Pats.
Go Pats, guys.
Peace out.